Welcome back, gamers. Today we're going to be diving into how to paint Napoleonic British horse artillery. So these guys are pretty interesting on the tabletop to get your guns up close. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe, and go and check out the Facebook page so that you can be kept updated when we're releasing new videos. So preparation is key when it comes to painting. So we're going to be speed painting today. I'm using a matte black for my base coat, and then the paints are a few different brands, but they're all acrylic paints. Again, paintbrushes are an assortment of different brands, some from Games Workshop and some I've just found in the store. I use clippers and craft knives, so not a huge amount of tools, just to get them ready. So first up, after base coating, we go with dead white from Game Colour for the trousers. And at this stage, just take your time, use probably a medium-sized brush for doing it, and just, try not to get it all over the place. But if you do, it being the first colour, it's not the end of the world. So next up, we're going to be doing the tunics, and so for that, we're going to be using Night Blue from Game Colour. So this is quite a nice paint, I find. It flows quite nicely. It's not a wash by any stretch of the imagination, but it almost feels like a wash when you're doing the painting, so I like it a lot. Definitely recommend the colour. So let me know down below which army or nationalities' artillery uniforms did you like the best? I'd say probably British Horse Artillery are well up there with my favourites. Next up, we're painting the woodwork of the artillery piece itself. For the British, this was quite a light blue, so we're using Magic Blue mixed with Bone White from Game Colour. You'll notice often the French are depicted with green, British with blue, the Prussians had brown. I'm not sure about the Russian artillery, but yeah, most nationalities had a way of painting their artillery, so yeah, look into that and see which ones you like the best. Now we're going to use chocolate brown from Model Colour, and that's going to be used for painting the tools that they have, the poles, etc. And yeah, if any of you are working on armies yourselves, it would be great for you to share some photos on the Facebook page so we can all see what you're working on. So next up, we're going to be doing the metal work. And so on the guns, it's obviously the barrel. There are sort of banding or strapping around the edges of the gun. On the men themselves, bayonets, etc. So anything that's metal work, we're using silver from Game Colour. It's quite a bright colour, which is good because once we dull it down with the washes, it'll still stand out quite nicely, but not be quite so bright. Now, to give the minis a little bit of life, it's time to give them their flesh. So I'm using Bone White, and that's from Game Colour. However, I also add a little bit of red and a little bit of brown just to bring it up, because otherwise I find the Bone White on itself can look a bit sort of deathly. So just give it a little bit of coloration there. So at that stage, we've pretty well finished all of the base coating, so now it's time to give them a dark brown wash. If you check out the video, which I've already created on the channel, that'll show you how I make my washes. It'll save you a bit of money rather than having to buy them from Games Workshop. And now it's quite simple, we're just going to go back in with the original colours mostly, and then use those to do the highlighting. So on their trousers, we're going in with dead white, their plumes again are white, cross belts, so we're just using as I said, the foundation colour a second time now as the highlighting. Saves you having to buy multiple different shades with this technique, and it gets it on the table pretty quickly. They've got their red sash belts, so again, this time we're using crimson from System 3. I would recommend in this second stage, the highlighting stage, use a fine detail brush, just because you don't want to now mess up the prior work. And then we've got the lacing of the tunics, sometimes facing colours as well, and we're using yellow from System 3 for that. So just take your time, and I find with these sort of parts, dragging the brush across them, using the side of the brush, tends to work better, and it avoids you sort of splodging the paint where you don't want it. And with the painting done, it's time to do the bases. And now, in my opinion, a well laid out base can really make a miniature, or it can break it. There's so many different options. You've got static grass straight up, you've got clump foliage, you've got grass tufts, you've also got the sort of traditional sawdusting flocks. So there's a whole heap of different options out there. You could also use sand and grit, which you could buy or find just out in the wild. So it's definitely a stage which I would advise not skipping, although just painting them green or brown works perfectly fine, and if they're green already, you could just leave them if you're going for speed. But there we have it, guys. Quick and easy horse artillery for the British. If you haven't already, do please like and subscribe, especially if you liked what you saw today. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought. Did I miss anything? Should I have added something? You let me know. These techniques you can also use for painting British line artillery or foot artillery. I have got a separate video coming out shortly on those chaps also. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.